The third way to create a leaf is the most fiddly. Just like every other one, you start with cross, twist, cross, and tension up around the pin. The weaver is now the light blue. It's in the third position. It was moved crossed over the center, and therefore is the weaver. Because it went over, it must now go under the outside. I like to start with it on the outside and tension. This is the time when it is very good to mark this weaver. Place a thread around it, a rubber band from a child's braid around it, but mark the weaver. Also, we're not going to put down the weaver. We're going to make sure it has a longer thread so that it has plenty of play. We do not want any tension on it. So it was under, so now it's over, under, over, under, over, under. Hold all 3 bobbins and pull down first, which will tighten the thread on the right hand side, and then pull up, which will tighten the thread on the left hand side. That was under, so it's over, under, over, under, over, under. Hold all 3 bobbins, pull down so you can tighten the thread on the right, and then pull up to tighten the thread on the left. Over, under, over, under, over, under. Hold all 3 bobbins, and the angle of holding the bobbins determines the thickness of the leaf. So in the beginning, I hold, pull down, pull up. I hold them so that they're not too far apart, so I can make a little, also I can pull it tighter. Over, under, over, under, over, under. Pull down and pull up. And I can continue to adjust the angle so that I watch the leaf grow and get wider. But notice, I never put down the weaver unless I'm tensioning it. I don't put it down to move the bobbins. If I put it down to move the bobbins, I might create the wrong tension on it and it will collapse. So it's over, under, over, under, over, under. Hold the 3. I need it to get wider, and tighten it. Over, under, under. Each time I position the 3 bobbins in the angle I want, I pull down and then up, until I get to the point where I think it's reached about as wide as it needs to be, and then of course I will begin to go smaller and actually move my hands so that they're smaller. But each time, notice, I'm holding my bobbins at the angle I want, pull down and then pull up. I think it's about the right width there. So we'll go straight for just a little bit, or continue at that angle. It's more what we say. If I pull it in, I will get a dimple. I used to say it looks like bugs have eaten my leaves. And as you can look at the top one there, I'd say a few bugs got at it. That's the newest method I've tried, and I'm not as proficient at creating that type of leaf. Also in this thread, it's a little bit more difficult. And as I mentioned, I don't have much light. So I'm actually having to manipulate it in the dark and look at my computer. Notice how tight it's gotten around here. I need to pull it back out to where it needs to be and tighten my leaf down. I'm just about ready to go back down. Leaves, just take them out. You don't like what you've done? You think there are too many bugs? Just take it out and do it again. And I'm sure, like with other lace, you'll find that you continue to keep taking things out and redoing them. Pull it down and pull it up. If it doesn't pull together, there's nothing wrong with a fingernail. Help it. Create the shape you want. I don't do it with a pin. I tend to use a fingernail because that doesn't break my threads. I'm getting closer and smaller. And I didn't... As you can see, I actually like the loom method, which is a method I've just started to use. And I'm finding that my leaves have a nicer shape than even the way I've done them for years. I like the shape of number 2, and I think if you can figure out a way to hold it in your hand, you will find the same thing. This one is not a beautifully shaped leaf, I'm sorry to say, but as you can see, even after doing hundreds of them, and you're trying to do it on a camera, it doesn't work very well. So I'm trying to pull it as tightly as I can. Remember how I said one side is always better than the other? That's very much the case. Place the weaver back inside. Place a pin between the two pairs. Pull the outside workers first, the inside vein, and then pull the actual worker, so that you can get your leaf shape. And there you have 3 leaves. Not the prettiest, but they work. As you continue to make more and more, I really suggest you take yourself a piece of paper and you just put dots straight down it, like I did on a piece of graph paper, and make dozens of leaves before you actually start a project. Just don't forget each time you start a leaf to do a cloth stitch. And in most cases, I don't find any need to do any extra stitch or anything at the bottom. So good luck. Thank you for joining me.